in order to move forward with the pattern drafting, we need an important number called the radius. This is used in drafting circle skirts, which is essentially what this is. So if you're not familiar with sewing, a circle skirt is done quite literally by drawing a circle on the piece of fabric. And then you draw an inner circle, and in that inner circle is where your waist goes. So of course, in order to draw a circle, you need a radius. That's how you do it. So you find the center of fabric, and then from the radius you can draw. So it's really neat. I mean, it's the only way to go. You really want to know what the radius of that circle is. So we'll have to do that. We're not making a circle skirt though. There's other types of circle type skirts. The circle skirt is the one that's going to give you a lot of fullness. They're really fun to twirl around in. They go horizontal if you're twirling with a circle skirt. But there's variations on that. You can have less fullness if you go with a half circle. If you want to save fabric and you don't require as much fullness, you can go a quarter circle. By doing some research, essentially looking at a number of those wrap skirts and making a mock-up on my Barbie doll, I've determined that being somewhere in between those two was good. So again, I'm estimating this. So the way I drafted mine was that I chose to do a 3/4 of a half circle. So three-quarters of this. If you do the math, you find that 3/4 of a half circle is going to give you 3/8 of a circle. So in our case, this is a wrap skirt. So it needs to go around your waist more than once. So if you're sewing a circle skirt, this circumference is going to be your waist circumference. If you do a half skirt, it's tricky. This thing is going to be your waist circumference. So for instance, it's best to go with an example. So example, let's say I'm going to use my measurement. The waist is 66 centimeters. If I were designing a circle skirt, I would make this circumference 66 centimeters, or I would make this half circle 66 centimeters, or I would make this quarter circle 66 centimeters. But I need to know, what do I need? I need more than 66 centimeters. So here's how a wrap skirt is going to work. So I know this is technical. It's going to be math heavy. This is pattern drafting. But and at the end I will give you a simple formula. So don't get discouraged if you don't want to follow any of that. Skip to the end of the video, short formula, use that and move on. However, I want to tell you how I get this number because first of all, you can have more freedom later. You can do this for yourself. Second, as you create your skirt, you might think, oh, you know what, I want this to wrap more. I have this fabric is just so gorgeous, and so you feel like you want to deviate from what I give you. You'll know why. You'll know what you can do and what you should not do. Word of warning, I did make a mistake on this particular measurement. I got a little trigger happy with my fabric, and there was some waste and some frogging and some resewing. Let's just put it that way. So this is for you. So here's the thing. We'll make a waistband. So this is my fabric over here. And just to let you know, so this is the waistband, and it's got, I drew them short, but this is the ribbons that you can tie. They're longer. But point is, right at the center of the skirt and the center of the waist ribbon, there will be a slit. In that slit, you will want to be able to take the end and stick it in. And when you draw this all around, you want that to be able to completely close around you. So that limits how big you can make it from here to here. This should be no larger than waist. No bigger than your waist measurement. So you can choose what you want it to be, but you cannot choose it to be greater than your waist measurement. That's important. And then you want be less. You want it to be less. So you want it to be able to wrap around, but not completely. So there's going to be a little gap. And now that gap you can fudge with. But I would say a good number, that's what I ended up using, is 10 centimeters. So you want to essentially, let me summarize, from here to here, from the center to the edge of the skirt, you want this to be your waist minus 10 centimeters. So that's the bottom line here. You can make it 15. You can make it 5 if you're not anticipating losing any weight. Because if your waist gets much smaller than the little gap, then you can't close it anymore. So anyway, 10 centimeters is a good number. So in my case, how big should it be from here to here? Because that's what we're after. Well, if we look at it, it should be 66 centimeters minus 10 centimeters. But I also need to do the same on the other side. This is only half of it, so do it again. 66 centimeters minus 10 centimeters. So in other words, if you dissect this formula, it's twice my waist. It's 66 plus 66 centimeters. It's twice my waist minus 20 centimeters. So this here is your first number you need to get. You need to take your waist measurement, multiply by 2, subtract 20 centimeters, and that will give you what I will call the circumference. So for me, that's 112 centimeters. So to summarize, this 112 centimeters would go here. So see, we're doing a wrap skirt, so it is a lot more than my waist measurement because it's got to go around. So 112, twice the waist measurement minus 20 centimeters. All right, so there's a corresponding radius that goes with that. I'll tell you how to get it. It is easiest if I tell you the result, show you that it works, and then we'll reverse engineer it. So if my circumference is 112 centimeters, the radius, when I draw my pattern, I need to use 48 centimeters. And let me show you that it works, and then we'll reverse engineer it so that you can apply it to your case. So remember, we're trying to design our wrap skirt to be a 3/8 of a circle. So here's a full circle. Here's a half, a quarter. So I got quarter circles, and let me do eight circles. I won't need the top. So I have on the bottom, I've got 4/8. But I only need 3. So my wrap skirt is going to be this much. It's going to use this much. And so in my case, if I use 48 centimeters for the radius, and this is where it goes. This is the radius of my circle, it's 48 centimeters. Let's see what circumference that gives me. And more importantly, what is this much? Because this is what's going to go around my waist. Actually, this is the waistline of this wrap skirt. So we all learned that in elementary school. The circumference of a circle is 2 pi times the radius. Let's see what we get. So we get 302. But that's the whole circle. This bit here is only 3/8. So let's do 3/8 of 302 centimeters. We get 113. We needed 112. Rounding error. 1 centimeter, a little more around. It's okay. We have a 20 centimeter gap. So this is fine. It's from the rounding errors. I gave round numbers. I didn't use any decimals. And it's fine to do. So we land on our feet. This will get me what I need. If I make the radius 48 centimeters, I am going to get an arc over here where my, let me finish it out. The skirt is going to go like that. It'll work. It'll be the measurement, the length that I need to wrap around my waist. So let's reverse engineer that, because all you have so far is your circumference. All you have so far is this, whatever that number is for you. How do you go from here to here? Well, let's reverse engineer. What did we do? We need to go here to that number. And so it's going to be, you need to take your circumference and you need to multiply this by 8/3, because we reverse the process. So it's going to be not going to be 3/8, it's going to be 8/3. And you can try it right now. If you do 112 times or 113 times 8/3, you get 302. Okay, good. So now we're here. What else do we need to do? This is your radius, which is what you want, times 2 pi. So second step is you need to take this number and divide by 2 pi. And that's it. You've got your radius. So to summarize, what you want to do is to take your waist circumference, multiply by 8/3, and then divide by 2 pi. So we can combine this so that you don't do too much math. Less math is better. Let's do the math now so you don't have to do it. So here's the bottom line. You're going to take your waist circumference, and then you're going to multiply by 4 and divide by 3 pi. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this is, if you're very good with calculators, use this. Most of us are not. I see a lot of mistakes using calculators. And when I myself do something like this, I double check. You have parentheses here. It's very easy to divide by 3 and then end up multiplying by pi. Should be really bad. So here's the foolproof way. So I'm going to do write this as a process, kind of like how we used to do our taxes. Nowadays, computers compute everything. But when we used to get those booklets and they told you all the steps to follow, we're going to do it this way. So So waist circumference, let's remind ourselves that this is not your waist measurement. It's this number. So you already multiply your waist measurement by 2 and you subtracted 20 centimeters from that number, which for me was 112 centimeters. So you're going to take this waist circumference and you're going to multiply by 4. Then, step 2, you are going to divide that number that you get by 3. And then step 3, you're going to divide what you got in step 2 by pi. If you do it this way, you're going to get the right answer. Okay, and just because I'm really paranoid, do a final check. If result is close to 4 times the waist circumference, try it again. It means you forgot a pesky parentheses and you ended up multiplying by pi instead of dividing. It's wrong. All right, so go back and check your values. All right, I hope I did not confuse you too much. I hope I gave this in ways that fit the level of comfort in math for a wide audience, that I gave you a final check that will allow you to get that number correctly.